For to that, the multiplying villainies of his nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of kerns and galley glasses is supplied. And fortune, on his damned coral smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm the founder of the South Devon Players Theatre and Film Company. I'm also a professional actor and theatre director. And on top of that, I'm also one of 4 theatre directors in the UK who's a member of the Equity Directors Committee, which means that we help advise Equity, which is the actors, directors and stage managers trade union, on best practice, improving conditions in the workplace, and generally in the progression of theatre and film. So, I founded the South Devon Players to create opportunities for people to get involved in creating theatre locally. The very important point of that is that if you want to create a career in theatre and film, or indeed if you're wanting to further it, you have to go off to Exeter or Bristol or Plymouth to do it. And often with theatre that's at quite unsociable hours, and if you can't do that, then you're stuck. So, being one of those people who was stuck, in 2005 I was bewailing the situation with some friends in Wetherspoons, and I turned around and said, well, we could either give up or we could start making opportunities for ourselves and other local people. We did the latter. The South Devon Players was born, and we're still running. We've won national and international awards for our work, and we now tour across the southwest, from Penzance in the west to Bristol in the east, and 9 times out of 10 we start our tours here in Brixham. During the pandemic, we've continued to create theatre, working online using Zoom and then broadcasting our work so that people could watch from their television or phone or laptop. And we're looking forward now, all things being equal, with the pandemic, to get back to creating theatre in our normal way at Chestnut Community Centre, which is our rehearsal base, and we're starting on Ben Hur at the end of August. So, we love to welcome other local people who want to get involved. We're quite flexible. Everything about the South Devon Players was created to be inclusive and flexible for local people. So we rehearse twice a week to allow for other life commitments. We rehearse on a Wednesday evening and a Sunday afternoon, and that's at Chestnut Community Centre in Higher Brixham. And then, of course, we tour off to other venues. We don't actually perform at the community centre because the room's great for rehearsals, but not so much for performances. Now, a lot of people think they can't get involved in theatre. Society teaches us that we're probably too old or too young or too tall or too short or too slim or too large or anything like that, and so we won't fit the mould. That is complete nonsense. Theatre is all about telling human stories. Humans come in every shape and size and age and ethnicity and every kind of demographic you can imagine, and all are welcome with us. So don't put yourself down. If you want to get involved in theatre, then you can. It's also the same with experience. We work with people of all levels of experience, and in any production we've usually got people ranging from those who've never been on stage before through to people who have performed internationally on stage and Hollywood films and that. And what's important is that we all come together, we work together, we support one another and create amazing theatre together. We also learn from one another. There's at no point do you ever know everything. The only criteria really are being reliable, because theatre only works if everyone's working in a team. And to be in a team, you need to be able to trust everyone else to know what they're doing and do what they say they're going to do, and they need to trust you in the same way. So we value reliability very highly. Everyone needs to be working in a safe, friendly space, so we place a great emphasis on respect, kindness. If we don't understand something, if somebody seems a bit odd or seems to be having a difficult day, we try to understand. We don't put up with nastiness, we don't put up with aggression, but the first point has to be understanding and kindness. 9 times out of 10, that's all it takes. If you don't want to act, there are loads of other things you can help with. We are always looking for people to get involved with, everything, like fundraising, costuming, publicity, lighting and sound tech, and those are just the things I can think of off the top of my head. There's lots of other things to be involved with as well. And you're always more than welcome to come and get involved. And yes, we're always short-handed, so there's always things to do. And yes, I've forgotten something. I forgot to tell you what our shows are. So, our shows are normally historical. So often we'll adapt a piece of history. It might be local history, it might be something that's happened on a bigger scale, and we'll research it very carefully and adapt it for the stage. We also adapt classical literature for the stage, and in the past we've done Dickens and Victor Hugo and all sorts of things like that. And when we get back to the stage after the pandemic, hopefully next month, we start work on a stage adaptation of Ben-Hur, which is going to be our most complicated and ambitious project ever. So that's the kind of work we do. It's all relatively family friendly. We don't go out in for a lot of swearing and sexual stuff, because you don't need that to tell stories. And so it's always aimed really at teenagers and up, but there's nothing that would preclude somebody younger coming to see a show. We always say if you could bring your 5-year-old or your great-grandmother to see it, and there would be something there for them. Anyway, that's all about us. And if you're interested in any way, or if you've got any questions, do get in touch, because we'd love to hear from you.